Shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone, and honors to all you brothers out there on the highways and the byways, teaching His truth in all sincerity. This is going to be a video going into current times, measuring the time, and the bottom line is time is short. Okay, we're in the last days of the last days. Wickedness, or the time of evil, or the rulership of wickedness over the earth is coming to an end, and it's going to come to a abrupt end, a very violent and bloody end, man, because amendments must be made for the wickedness that has been done on the earth, man. A balance must be struck. All right. And I just want to start off with this first scripture, man. This is Revelations 12:12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." Now we know that the devil is talking about here isn't the spiritual demon Satan. Okay, when you look up the word devil in the Greek, is diablos. Basically, which represents someone who's acts in the stead of the devil, a deceiver. All right. In fact, I'm gonna get you the exact term right here, man. Right, diablos, it says, prone to slander, slanderous, accusing falsely, metaphorically applied to a man who, by opposing the cause of God, may be said to act the part of the devil or to side with him. And who's that representing? The elites of the so-called white men, the Edomites. Okay, they opposed the cause of the Heavenly Father. They oppose righteousness. They rebel against the light. They're the princes of darkness. Okay, they've been set up on this earth to come up against the cause of righteousness. Okay, that's why they're the conduit of all evil and wickedness on the face of this earth. All right, and it says what? They shall come down on the people of the earth, because they know that their time is short. Okay, because these elites, they have their astrologers and their witches and warlocks who got their spiritual powers on the left hand side, and basically they're seeing omens, which the main omen being the chariots of the Heavenly Father and the awakening of the sons of the living power. And they're seeing that, and it's alerting them to the fact that they got a short time before the return of their nemesis, which is Yahweh Shai, who's the rightful ruler of this realm. Okay? So there's going to come a time when the elites basically are going to put their plan into effect. What's their plan? Their plan is to basically to populate the earth to a controllable population, which according to them is 500 million, right? And to build and get themselves into a new world order, which is technologically and militarily strong enough to fight against the Lord when He comes. Okay? So that they may retain their rulership over the earth. That's the plan of the elites. Okay? And they follow a trend of thought known as order ab chaos, which is to bring order out of chaos. So their goal is to bring in their new world order, and their mechanism of bringing in that new world order is chaos. So you see things happening around the world in different areas of life. To the average person, they see these things as unrelated or random events, where realistically these things are orchestrated. Okay? When you go into the movie Chaos Theory, they show you that. Okay, and that's the theory they believe in on the higher levels with the elites. Okay, and they've already done the simulations and the research. Okay, and now we're coming to the time where they're implementing their plans to bring that chaos, and the chaos is going to come in the shape of all the things which are prophesied in the scripture. The race wars, okay, famines, all right, World War III. Okay, these things is the chaos, and it's all being ultimately orchestrated by the Heavenly Father, but his main tool is the elites. Okay, because it's the elites are the ones that's going to crash this economy, this global economy. It was set up with triggers in there for a controlled demolition, basically like 9/11. That's what they want to do. Just like with 9/11, they did a controlled demolition of the trade centers, and then they built a new trade center in its place. Well, that's basically what the elites want to do on a global level, a controlled demolition. That's why in their economy, they designed it and set it up to fail by ladening it with heavy debt, which they know could never be paid. Okay, the Eurozone, America, all these economies, houses, are laden with heavy debts by the elites that they can never pay. Okay, and really, the Eurozone, the dollar, all these currencies are already dead, and the only thing keeping it going is the elites. When the elites decide to pull that trigger and demolish the economy, then it's going to be done. To what end? To bring that chaos, to bring that destruction, and to usher in the New World Order through way of the cashless society and mass death. It's all set up. This world economy should have done crashed and imploded. Why has it not? Because the devil has not decided to yet, but he will. There will come a time when he's going to pull the trigger, and that black swan event is going to take place. That event that the masses of people didn't see coming. But in hindsight, people will say, well, it was obvious. Okay, because the majority of the people out there are blind. The signs are there. The scripture tells you in Ecclesiastes 12 chapter that they that look out the windows be darkened. What does that mean? The prudent ones, the forecasters who are looking at the facts of this society, of this world, what they see is dark clouds looming, because that's what's ahead based upon the facts. Okay, whether you're talking about the economy, whether you're talking about socially, the facts is there are dark clouds on the horizon. Okay, but the average everyday person are blinded to this because they're not looking out the window, they're looking at the TV. All right, but the Lord set that up, okay, that they may be blinded so that they may be caught in this destruction that is to come. Now, I want to bring out an article just showing you that basically they got Greece set up as like one of the dominoes for this world economy to fall. They got little dominoes everywhere, and if one falls, they all fall. Okay? Now, let's get this. Alright? Now, you got these elites around the world, the ones that are in the know, they know what's about to happen. So they're preparing themselves to be safe. It's a controlled demolition. Okay, the word has gotten out there to those who are in the know to basically protect themselves from the chaos and the death that's about to come. Okay, so you had this guy in the Telegraph It says here, it's time to hold physical cash, says one of Britain's most senior fund managers. Okay, it says the manager of one of Britain's biggest bond funds has urged investors to keep cash under the mattress. Ian Spreadby, who invests more than $4 billion of investors' money across a handful of funds for Fidelity, including the flagship money builder income fund, is concerned that a systemic event could rock markets possibly similar in magnitude to the financial crash of 2008, which began in Britain with a run on Northern Rock. Systemic risk is in the system, and as an investor you have to be aware of that. Okay, so his job is to be prudent, and he's also an insider. You don't get to that level of money if you're not an insider, because they make their money off insider trading, inside knowledge. Okay, so all these top guys know. That's why you got all these different elites. They're building bunkers pursuant to Amos and 9 chapter from the second verse down. They're digging into hell. They're going into Mount Carmel. They're making plans to climb up into heaven to escape from the chaos and the destruction that's going to come down on the earth. Okay? Well, ultimately, the Lord wants them to do that. Okay? And it's all Edomites. Edomites and certain top-level heathens. None of them is Jake. Okay? You Jake in the ghettos, you don't get the memo. All you get is Young Thug and Jay-Z. You're not going to get the phone call. Even Alex Jones, he's an insider, he admitted he's had, because he rubbed shoulders with certain people and they've warned him of what's to come and asking him why he hasn't taken his family out of America. Jesse Ventura has. Jesse Ventura, who was a senator, he moved to Costa Rica. Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, he's over there in Asia. Okay? Because they're insiders and they know it's time to get out of America. Because America is going to be a big killing zone. They're going to depopulate America. They're going to do extreme depopulation on America and across the world. Okay? And that's pursuing to the judgments written in 2 Esdras 16th chapter and the 15th chapter. Alright, that's pursuing to Daniel's 12 and 1. And the elites already know how they're going to do it. The event that they're going to use to trigger it. They're building it up right now with a series of seemingly unrelated events. Terrorist attacks from various so-called organizations or men that seem to be working alone, like Mr. Roof, not knowing that these things are all related. Okay? The cyber attacks, all these different things that are happening, ISIS, Ukraine, they seem unrelated, but they're all part of the same plan. Okay? And there's going to come a time when the elites are going to build up the pressure with all these seemingly unrelated events. And then there's going to be a trigger. Okay? A trigger like a detonator. That's going to create a perfect storm. Okay? I'm going to give you definition of the expression a perfect storm. Okay? It says a perfect storm is an expression that describes an event where a rare combination of circumstances will aggravate a greater event. So you got all these different problems which seem to be unrelated across the world, and they're going to come together to create a perfect storm of hell on the earth. And in that hell, 2/3 of you Israelites are going to be wiped out, okay, by means of the warfare, by means of disease, and by means of famine. And the elites already know, they've already run the simulations where these things are going to occur and how many people are going to die as a result. As it is written, which I'm going to get it. Let's get some scripture. Okay. Go back. Genesis. Well, the 3rd chapter. Genesis 3:1, it says, "Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?" That serpent represents these elites. They're subtle. Okay? And that's what Jake don't understand. He doesn't understand his enemy. These elites are very calculated about the things they do. And they're very good at what they do because they've learned from history. They've taken things from history and they implement them in the modern day. Okay? These top elites, they go to the best schools, private schools, where they study Greek philosophy, study history. They see what worked and what didn't work. Okay? Unlike you Jakes. Alright? Because if you Jakes knew more history, you would understand the things which are happening. Okay? I also want to get the book of Psalm. Let's get this. So like 64. There we go. This is the book of Psalms 64 and 6. It says, "They search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search." Well, you know what? Let me jump up. Let's start from verse 1. And this is talking about the elites, not your average everyday peon Edomite, because they're not in the know. They're just servants to their elites. They're peons. Okay, just foot soldiers. Hey, just like the other day, I was going past the police cordon, and I asked them, what's going on? Why are you here to protect this particular spot? And they said they didn't know. Well, they probably didn't know, because they're on a need-to-know basis. Okay? And that's the majority of these peons are on a need-to-know basis. Only the top elites really know the full details. Okay? Now, we're going to start from verse 1. It says, "To the chief musician, the Psalm of David." It says, "Hear my voice, O God. In my prayer, preserve my life from fear of the enemy." Now, who's our enemy? Who's our number one enemy on the earth? We, the people that come from Jacob. Our number one enemy is Esau. Okay, the devil. It says, "Who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect." Who are the perfect? It's talking about the Israel. Okay? And they're going to shoot in secret, meaning they ain't going to come out and tell you to your face that they're looking to exterminate you. They're going to play the game, set up groups of Edomites to claim they love you. That's why you Jakes vote Democrat. You Jakes in the UK, you vote Labour, because you caught up in that BS. But that's all set up by Esau, because as the scriptures say, he's more subtle. He's the most subtle beast in the field. He knows how to set up false paradigms to trap you jakes, you simple-minded jakes. Okay? It says, suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. So when this thing really hits the fan, it's gonna come down suddenly with you jakes. Okay? And I ain't talking about one or two jakes. They're gonna set this thing off, and hundreds of thousands of you jakes are gonna die. Millions of you jakes are gonna die in a very short period of time. And that's pursuing back to what happened in Rwanda. Okay? 1 million people died in Rwanda inside a month. Okay? 1 million. Just think about that. Alright? That's reality. That's what can happen. That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be worse than Rwanda. Okay? It says, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. What's the evil matter of the elite? Ultimately, they want to free themselves from bondage to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and become their own gods. Okay? And they want to get rid of you jakes who they see as a threat to their power, which we are, because we're the real. We're the true heirs to this universe. Okay? They're just usurpers. Okay? So that's their evil matter, to eradicate you jakes. Okay? To destroy you. Alright? And they have counsels on it. It says they commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? Okay? So privately, they're setting up this storm of death to wipe out you jakes, man. Famine, martial law, World War III. They got it set, the biological warfare. They got it set up to wipe you jakes out. You're the main target. And they already know how they're gonna get you in them ghettos, how they're gonna attack you, how they're gonna wipe you out, how many of you are gonna die of hunger, how many of you are gonna turn on each other and kill each other, because they've done the experiments, they've tested it, they've run the drills, they've run the simulation. Now it's just a matter of them implementing it. Okay? It says, they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Okay, well guess what? The elect of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, the inward thought and the heart of us is deep on the right hand side. And that's why we're able to be on their level. We're the elites of righteousness. That's why the Lord said to us, be ye as wise as serpents. And we're wiser than them. Because ultimately, we don't come against the will of the Lord, which is true wisdom. Higher wisdom. Because these elites, they're wise to do evil. But guess what? Their wisdom is vanished. Because everything they're doing is ultimately going to lead to their downfall. Even though we're telling them that. Okay? So, that's why when you see these things happening in Greece, and Greece is threatening to exit, look, the Eurozone's going to go down when the elites say. And that's how it's going to be. And when it goes down, or the dollar goes down, or any one of those trigger points for this event, it's game over for 2/3 of you jakes. The good times are gone. Okay? They're going to come down with a hammer. See this jade helm and all these drills they've been doing for years? That was all preparation for the time. They see they're hyping up this race wars, and they're going to do more. They're going to hype up the tensions even more. That's just them setting the primer, man. Adding C4 to the point where they pull that trigger. I'm going to get my favorite scripture. You jakes out there, you Israelites. Okay. This is the book of Ezekiel 21 and 9. Okay. It says, Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord, a sword is sharpened and also firm. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. Okay? What's that sword? The martial law and biological weapon, World War III. That's a sword. That's been sharpened against the Jews out there all over the world. Okay? See them having all these drills, dealing with protesters, dissidents. That's mainly aimed at you Jakes. Because you Jakes are not wanted. Okay? Now they don't need you anymore, they got robots. You still don't need the masses of people no more. The surplus to requirements now. Okay? He has robots to do his thinking for him. He has robots to do his work for him. Okay? He's even got robots to do his killing for him. So he don't need these Jakes in the military no more. Okay? It says, it is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? You've got these Jakes out there, all they want to do is have fun and play games. You know, pussy money, weed and strip clubs and losing their mind. They don't want to deal with this reality. Here it is, the sword is above their head, coming ready to come down on them, and they're not concerned. Alright? It says, should we then make mirth? It contamineth the rod of my son as every tree, and he hath given it to be furbished, that it may